Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Brothers Turbo.
Everyone, and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White, and with me, as always, is Todd Stark.
And you're a liar.
I'm a liar?
Yeah, you're not Stephen.
I'm not? Who am I?
I don't. You look like Kojak.
Kojak? Okay, I can dig that.
Yeah, Kojak. I mean, you don't look bad. I like it.
Thank you.
If you're wondering, he has shaved his head.
I have.
He has his eyebrows.
I do, because shaving my eyebrows, I don't want to go with that Whoopi Goldberg look.
No, your face has runners, like those rugs. Mm-hmm. That's all it's got.
Okay.
You know, you got hardwood runners.
I did for like the first 2 days have a goatee and mustache, and I would look at myself in the mirror and say, I want to kick my own ass. So I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I got to get rid of it.
It was too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went with a more...
all or nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that approach. It looks good.
But my hair grows very fast, so I'll have to either keep it maintained or just give in and say, I don't like it. And then just let it grow out.
And the fun thing is, like, wondering how your hair is going to grow back.
Yeah, because it's going to be, I don't really know.
There for a
It'll
while.
be puffy for a while, I guess.
You won't be able to do anything.
No.
And then you'll have that weird stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll pass that, and you can do a lot of stuff. And then choice is yours after that.
That is true. I mean, I might just kind of keep it shaved on the sides at first and just let the top grow out and make it look like a chia pet.
What you ought to do is put tattoos on the side of your head,
mm-hmm.
do a mohawk, but do the Bam Bam Bigelow tattoo.
Okay.
He had flames on the side of his head.
Is anyone ever going to get that? I mean, that might be a little outdated.
I know.
I'll bring it back.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
I think it's flames on the side of your head. You can get that.
Something like that, yeah.
And the mohawk. Or you could do the Viking thing and look like dude on there.
That's true.
Yeah.
I've got options.
You have a lot of options.
So
or you could just be Mr. Clean.
I could. But then I need to get an earring.
No. You don't have to.
Well, he's got the earring.
Yeah, but you're
and then the
Mr.
white
Clean.
T-shirt and everything.
Wear a black shirt.
Yeah, so I'm going to be Mr. Clune.
You can be Mr. Clean X.
Clean X.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that ain't right.
Yeah, isn't that something else?
You blow your nose with it.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, well, what have you been playing?
Still God of War.
Good.
I'm progressing right along.
That's fine.
All the answers you want is in it. I find myself like when they're having this little, I don't know, their whole little way they play with or interact with each other. Kratos holds back so much stuff from him on purpose, you know. So I find myself like, just tell him.
Yeah.
Tell him.
So without spoiling anything, are you saying that when Kratos finds out everything you want to know, the kid Atreus doesn't know?
No. Atreus is smart.
So if Atreus knew, would it change his outlook on things?
No, he does know.
Oh, he does know.
He knows everything.
Okay. The way you kind of made that sound, I thought he didn't know.
Well, he doesn't, but he's smart, so he figures it out, and that's why he has no choice.
He's learning.
I feel like he is. He learns as he goes. Like
does he know Kratos is lying to him?
I don't know. He just knows that he's got something to tell him, and he really he acts out at a certain point.
I could imagine.
It's awesome. You're gonna love it, dude. The story is so well done in this game. It's just outstanding. Like I'm wondering where it's going. And I've heard the one complaint I've heard from anybody that didn't like part of it was the backtracking.
Yeah.
And they do backtrack, but they do it in a way that it doesn't feel like backtracking because you're not doing the same thing. And at the same time, you can go through and anything you miss, you can go ahead and grab it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's almost like you have two playthroughs that's totally different in one game.
That's good.
It feels like that.
Now, when you're backtracking, is it necessary backtracking in the sense that you're not just going back to say, oh, I forgot this, I got to go back here? And
it's necessary backtracking.
Okay.
It's like you have a path and you got to go to this area. Well, okay, to get there, I've got to go through here and here to get there. So sometimes, like while I'm on my way to that area, I'll just, okay, well, I didn't do this, and I'm right here. Well, let me go ahead and do this. And it's okay. It doesn't bother me. But
I've seen some of the more harsh game critics praising the game.
Oh, yeah.
People who will tear apart a game just for the minor, just the little things.
Yeah.
And flip it on its head saying, this is a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
But, they're loving it. They're not saying it's without its flaws, but they love the game as a whole for what it is. So
I haven't found any major flaw in this game. That's why I still, even now, I'd stick to 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't.
I've seen all of the scores. They've been pretty generous.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a perfect score, but it's pretty close. It's like The Last of Us. That would be my same score for The Last of Us. Would be 9.5. I wouldn't give anything perfect.
Can't wait to try it.
Can't wait to finish it so you can try it.
I know, but don't rush it. Take your time. I'm playing Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
I noticed that
because I wanted something that I could easily put down and pick up, especially if God of War is right around the corner.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's enough to keep me busy because there's a lot of... I wasn't really sure what to expect out of this game because when I first started it, the portions of the city were separated, like they were walled, and I was like, this is what it's going to be? I don't get a full city to play in? Right. So I was a little disappointed. And then once I progressed in the story a little farther, all these areas converged into one giant city. And I was like, okay, now that's different. So now there's this big playground of tons of stuff to do, plus the stories. I'm like, this is going to take a while. So that's what I've been doing. I haven't even progressed in the story since everything converged. I was like, there's so much to do, like the gold bricks and the usual stuff they have in the Lego games. I said, well, I might as well just do all that now. Or at least all that I can do.
Right.
But I feel like I got one thing to say with a little bit of pride, I got all this for free. I say free because I didn't spend a dime on it. It was a bunch of gift cards.
Yeah,
but
nice.
I got the game, and then I went and purchased the season pass off DLC from the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
But I did these separately. But with the DLC, I got all these extra characters, so I'm not having to wait to get another character to finish all the puzzles or whatnot that are already available.
Oh, so you
because
can
I
go
have
through...
characters who have these abilities. Thanos is the greatest character ever because he can do everything. Just about everything. I don't want to say everything because he's still like a big character. So if there's something a small character has to do, he'll just be like, huh? And just throw up his arms because he can't do it, like press a button or flip a switch. But he can control minds. He can teleport. He can fly. He can use magic. Anything you can think of, he can pretty much do. So he's almost like your go-to if you just need an end-all be-all.
You want to whoop somebody's ass.
Yeah. So I like that aspect. So I know I've got him. But most of the characters I have, I think there's one that I need right now that is preventing me from doing everything. And I need to find Iron Fist. Because
Iron Man, really?
He has like chi abilities or something,
Yeah.
and there are certain statues around that require that. And I found one, I think it was doing the Black Panther DLC, and I was like, what the hell is this? Where's this last little mini kit I'm looking for? And there was just a statue, and I'm like, okay, surely I've got somebody. Didn't have anybody, and they're like, get Iron Fist. I'm like, God, okay. So I don't even know where he's at, so I'm going to have to keep digging.
He's hiding out.
I know. That's one thing the game does well, is they'll always keep one character out of reach as far as powers.
99 cents.
Yeah.
99 cents.
Well, he's not behind a paywall. But I played that and also played a game I was going to talk about on today's show, but I'm going to save it for next week. It's called Stay. It's on PC.
Right.
It's a really great game. I'll get into it more next week because there's a lot to say about it.
Right.
But I enjoyed it. I still want to play it some more because there's a lot more I can do sort of throughout the game. But definitely stay tuned for next week because I'll talk about it in great detail then. All right. You ready for some news?
Does a fat baby poop?
I would imagine so.
They do.
Now, this is, I hate to say this, this is a very slow news week.
It really is.
It was like pulling teeth just to find anything worth talking about.
I was thinking that like earlier today. I was like, there's not a whole lot to talk about.
So I picked a few things just to kind of briefly mention. I think we've got more quickets than anything other than some actual news. But we do have a big news portion, or at least big story to begin with, and that's Nintendo rolled out their online details, for their new online service. Pricing is definitely more affordable than any of the other two consoles on the market.
$19.99.
Well, they've got different pricing packages. If you want to go month to month, it's $3.99.
Okay.
3 months is $7.99. 12 months is $19.99, and then you can do a family membership, which is also 12 months, and that's $34.99. But with the family membership, you get up to 8 Nintendo account holders, and they are able to share the online service,
right?
Even on different systems. So, if you have a lot of people playing it, it would be worth it, I guess. But,
yeah.
They also provided information about their classic gaming network, which will feature 20 games eventually, but they've mentioned 10 that are going to that they already know are going to drop when the service does in September. And I got to kind of roll my eyes here because it's like the same lineup of games they always pull out,
Mario
like
Brothers.
they did with the mini console or whatever it was.
Right.
It's the same. Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, Donkey Kong, The Legend of Zelda, Dr. Mario, Balloon Fight, Ice Climber, Tennis, and Soccer.
So in other words, they gave you the NES Classic.
Yeah. And especially if there's going to be 10 more games, what do you think they're going to be? The other 20 or
Super
10
NES
games
Classic.
of So I don't know why they keep, why is this particular list of games the go-to? I've never wanted to play Balloon Fight in my life.
I was going to say the same one. Balloon Fight.
Yeah,
Damn it. I
but
never
they
had a balloon
always bring it up. It's like Joust with balloons.
Yeah. Like, why don't you call that water balloon fight? I might play that.
Yeah. But it's just, and tennis and soccer, seriously, why not Punch Out?
Yeah.
I mean, at least that one's one that people want to play. Tennis and soccer, I don't want to play that.
Their golf game was cool. They don't have golf on there either, do they?
No, they don't.
Golf was all right.
Yeah, I played golf. But I don't know. Like I said, it's the same games they keep going back to, and it kind of bugs me a little bit. But
That's why I left their camp.
I know. The plan is to start with the 20 games. I guess they're going to announce them before the service launches. A larger hope that some of these games will not be relegated to the NES Classics, as we were just talking about. Other features included in this service are a save data cloud backup, finally, which is long overdue. Online play, and then accessibility through an online app, which you're going to be using for your voice chat, which, again, seems pointless. I mean, you might as well just use Discord.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. You've already got that set up.
Right.
But my biggest question here, based on the cloud data service that they're offering now, because they said it's going to allow you, if your 3DS, or not your 3DS, but your Switch breaks or anything like that, you're going to be able to just, like you do with Microsoft and Sony.
This is the beginning of them actually being able to hand everything over to the next.
My question is, if I went out, say, after this launches, say this time next year, and went out and bought a 3DS, signed into my account, am I going to have that same option? Because they have a list. I can pull up a list of all the games that I own digitally through them. But last time that I lost my 3DS, the one that I talked to you about, the special edition Zelda one, and bought another one, I had to call them to get them to transfer my service and all my stuff, and had to go through this big, long process.
Damn.
So I want to know if that's going to change. Like I said, they've got that list. I can pull it up and look at it.
Right.
So if I buy that and this is now implemented, do my games just finally come over without any hassle? I don't have to call anybody? Because that's ridiculous.
I mean, because it was nice on PlayStation, just the library.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like I meant to lose it.
Right.
I didn't mean for the one that I had now to break.
And digitally, you still own it.
Exactly. They have a list of it. I can see that list. So getting my games back should not be a hassle. If I sign into my account, they should be there for me to download for free.
Right.
I purchased it. So I'm hoping that's something that will happen. But again, I'm not necessarily running out to buy a new 3DS either. So,
nah.
I was actually, speaking of which, we were talking where you pulled up Phoenix Wright on your phone the other day.
Yeah.
I started thinking about it. I was like, I wonder if I could find Phoenix Wright on Android. I couldn't find that particular one, but they had the last 3 that came out on Android, and 1 that I haven't even played yet. And I was like, well, I'll be damned. And it's for no more than I would pay on a 3DS, so I just might do it there. Because I still would like to play at least the last one. I think there was one called Dual Destinies, and that was the last one I played on the 3DS. I had to think on it. I was like, did I play this one or not? And I started watching the trailer, and I was like, yeah, a lot of this looks familiar, so I can skip that one. But I would like to play the new one.
I haven't played any of them.
But
did I buy that day?
I thought you did. I thought you were going to.
Okay,
it's $1.
I got charged $4, and I couldn't remember
What?
I spent. What it $3.99?
No, it was only $1.
Okay,
99 cents.
Okay, it was 99 cents, and that was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it came through this week. I bet I did buy it.
Okay, well, you need to play it.
I don't remember.
Just sit down and enjoy. See if you can solve the cases.
I will. I'm a good lawyer.
All right, so some quickets. Like I said, we don't even have news.
That was just one news.
That was. Well,
It was one news.
I've got 2 more stories, but I just want to go ahead and get some quickets in.
Get some quickets in. Oh, sorry.
EA responded to the new legal classification of loot boxes, and no surprise, they disagree.
And they're going to keep doing what they're doing.
And they said they are going to push forward with their microtransactions in their new FIFA title, of all things. So I guess they think it's not going to matter in FIFA.
Well, I don't know. They were doing loot boxes on there, weren't they? Mm-hmm. Or was it was it the kind that you would consider gambling?
I think it was the gambling kind. That was one of the last title they had got a lot of scrutiny.
Yeah, because you buy the packs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they do that on all theirs.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, it's kind of different because you're guaranteed a certain player. It ain't the guy that you want necessarily, but you get that tier player every time. So the more money you spend, the more of those players you'll get. So you know what you're getting.
Right.
You just don't know the name. Mm-hmm. Most of them are they're all, like level-wise, they're all the same.
Okay. They also announced plans for a new subscription service. I guess they're wanting to compete with PlayStation Now and...
Yeah, but don't they have... They got all kinds of... What's that?
Origins?
EA Origins. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So I guess they're planning something new. And I don't know what exactly.
They're just renaming it.
Probably. I read this morning, this is a Friday morning, that the recently appointed CEO of GameStop stepped down unexpectedly. But no reason as to why.
He grabbed somebody's ass.
They said personal reasons.
He grabbed an ass.
He don't know. If we find out any more details, I'll definitely update it. But right now...
Yeah, it could be health, too. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
I just talked to him the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know you are pals.
No. I just traded at a game at GameStop.
The Netflix Witcher series gained a little traction this week by hiring 3 more screenwriters. One's coming off of Netflix's own Jessica Jones.
Nice.
So we'll see. I'm glad to see it's getting traction. I thought this was going to be one of those that just kind of, we're doing it, and then you never hear another word about it.
I don't know, man, because they did that with Castlevania. They said, we're doing it, and then it was out.
Yeah. But that was like 4 episodes. That was like a blink.
We'll see.
I want more. I want more of that. It was a good series.
Yeah.
Or at least what they gave us. I just felt like it was too quick.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I don't have Netflix because I have HughesNet.
Well, you could pull it up on your phone.
Yeah, I don't like watching on my phone.
I know, it's terrible. Why don't you get a Google Cast or whatever, the Chromecast, plug it in, and then you can just run it from your phone.
No.
Or do that. Well, no, you've got an iPhone, so it won't work. You don't have that thing like I do. Anyway.
That's a Sharp TV now. Oh, yeah. Well, you could do it on that one too, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Square Enix announced a special E3 presentation on June 11th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is a presentation much like what they did last year. It was like a streaming video of their lineup.
They're just trying to get their own little show going, and it sucks every year.
They're doing what Nintendo does. They do their little Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, but that's just a video.
Yeah.
This is the whole stage thing.
Oh, I thought they said it was going to be like not really open to the public per se.
It's not.
Okay.
It's just a kind of like
a few people.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's investors and there's the press there, stuff like that.
Speaking of Square, Shadow of the Tomb Raider will not feature Lara Croft's most iconic weapon. I'm guessing her pistols.
Yeah, I was gonna say her pistols. Yeah.
So I don't know what. I mean, we haven't seen them before. Before now, have we?
Not really.
So I guess people were assuming that she was just going to find him. It's like one of those Indiana Jones moments where he got his hat. It's like, oh, that's where he gets it. Who cares?
But she's
Just
not to
enjoy
that
the
point
story
yet.
as it is.
You know, if this is the end of the beginning,
Yeah, as they say.
then
Now, if
Ne-
this
the
leads
next
in,
one-
if this leads directly into the end of or the beginning of Tomb Raider 1,
yeah, so then
Yeah,
that's probably
then-
where she gets it.
perhaps. I don't know.
So, okay, look, I heard somebody talk about this game.
Mm-hmm.
They played the first 6 hours.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they said they're not excited for this game. So it looks beautiful, but it feels so much like the other ones. And they enjoyed the other games.
So what, are they just having fatigue for this type of game? Or?
I don't, you know how it's almost like they just stuck to everything else they did in the other ones. And
So
it's
it didn't
almost
really
like,
add anything.
yeah. So
Okay.
there's a few things added and it's kind of cool, but it still feels so much like the other ones that they weren't excited for it. But they know that if you like this game, which she does like the game. You're going to enjoy this game.
Yeah. You just, nothing to really get it all excited about. Just, it's
Yeah, I
another
guess that's
chapter.
what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to find like words to say what I'm.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect way to put it. Nobody, she's just not excited for it.
Okay. I mean, I'm interested,
Yeah.
but I guess I've never
We've not
had
played
a
it.
moment to where these games have really just enticed me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll see them and I'm like, yeah, I want to play it, but I'm not going to rush out and do it.
Right.
If it comes in my hands at some point, then yeah, I'll take it and I'll play it, but I'm not going to go out of my way for it either.
I enjoyed the first one. I played a lot of it. I got it when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Got the second one later on, and it was just one of those games where I just wanted it to end.
Yeah.
It just kept going. Yeah, I think. Did you play it?
Yeah, the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got to a point where it was like, all right,
Just
come on.
wrap it up.
Yeah, we're at the end now.
Yeah, and then it's like, no, you got to go save fake Jesus, whoever you think he's Jesus, there for a while.
Nintendo is apparently not happy with its mobile game profits, which I thought they were making bank off of it.
That's
They
what I
just
thought.
reinvested in it, but
Yeah.
apparently they're not happy.
Well, they looked at the wrong sheet. They're looking at the one where they reinvested the money, and they're thinking that they lost that money.
Perhaps. Speaking of Nintendo, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is coming to the Switch in August. So now they have their own Monster Hunter game. And it's compatible with 3DS, so you can play together with somebody.
They do that every
How about
time.
that? Yeah,
don't
they do.
But you have to buy the game on both of them.
Yes.
That is stupid.
Well, that's how it works. That's the one part of that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
You know, cross buy that stuff
Yeah.
if that's what you're going to do.
Digital
Don't make
code.
people shell out twice for the same game.
Yeah.
Because that's
Now, is
way
that
too much
Nintendo
money.
or is that Capcom?
Well, I don't know.
I would say that they said you have to make a whole different game to go on 3DS.
Well, that's what they did with Super Smash Brothers. They made two different games, two different art styles, made you pay for two different games, plus the DLC was double down.
Damn.
So if you wanted to buy for both, you had to pay double. I mean, to get that full game in its entirety, you were spending well over $150, $200. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
And
It's
they're not in
ridiculous.
trouble for loot boxes.
Yeah.
It's the same damn thing.
God of War has millions of viewing hours on Twitch.
It's an awesome game.
It's
It would be one of those games where you come back each time to say, I want to see if I'm not going to play it. I want to see the story though.
I'm been trying to avoid it a little bit because
Do
I
it.
want the
Don't-
story to
Yes.
be gripping for me.
It
I
needs to be.
I can understand that some people are more voyeurs
Mm-hmm.
than players, so I can respect that. But
Yeah.
it's just not me.
And this is a perfect game for it.
The Neo Geo Mini, which we talked about a few weeks ago, I think, as it was a rumor, was officially announced, and
Hot
it's
trash.
like an old miniature arcade cabinet, like those little '80s Pac-Man arcade game. You remember those?
Yeah.
And
I seen
Donkey
one at
Kong
Walmart
games?
the other day.
Yeah, just like that.
Why?
I don't know, but that's what they're offering, like a little arcade cabinet with their little fighting games on it. So there you
have
go.
that. How much?
I don't know. I didn't get a price.
Oh, it's $69.
It's going to be up there. I have
Yeah.
no doubt.
How big is it? Show me.
Probably about like that.
How tall?
Maybe as tall
So
as
it's
this.
it's just like those old school
Yeah,
ones.
just
then.
like one of those old little.
The new ones are a little smaller,
Yeah.
but the old school ones were great. But that was Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't playing this shit.
Well,
One of those damn
you don't have to get it. I'm just saying.
Neo Geo stuff.
Maybe we'll have it in our other segment whenever all the details come out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You come over to your house, you're gonna be sitting on the floor in your underwear,
A little
in your bald head,
joy.
both your bald heads.
Overkill's The Walking Dead had a new character trailer that kind of squashed my thought of playing with others. Since now it's apparent that you're going to play as one of 4 characters, all with different skill sets. Doesn't that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
We were so ahead of the curve.
We were. If you don't know, we had a game idea at some point, and this sounds a lot like it.
Yeah.
Very much so. So maybe they didn't rip off all of our ideas.
I don't think so.
So we'll see. And lastly, Ed Boon shot down hopes for more Injustice DLC, which I wasn't expecting anymore, obviously. But he did it by responding on Twitter, you know what else would be cool? Cool with a K? And they just left it at that.
The Kool-Aid Man gonna come fight?
Well, I think he was hinting at the possibility of a new Mortal Kombat game, which I guess it's about time, maybe.
Yeah,
Has it been about a year or two?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What was
maybe.
the last one? Mortal Kombat X?
Yeah, and I think that
it's
one
been
came
longer
out.
than that, man.
Yeah, it has. It's been several years
5
because I know I
years.
had it. I was playing it back in. I don't know. It's been a while.
I bet it's been 4
I've been at my old house. Is when I was
Yeah, that's
playing.
why I was at my mom and dad's. And when we were in between houses, you know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess it's been a while.
We've been here 3 years, and then we were
So,
there
yeah.
a year.
So it's overdue. So maybe we'll see it at E3. Who knows? That's a rumor, not a fact.
That is,
But
We
he
broke
did.
it here, though.
He did do that.
but we did break it here.
We did break it here.
That
Maybe it will happen.
No, it will happen.
It will happen at
It's
E3.
going to be at E3.
We're going to see it at E3.
It's
We're
gonna
breaking
be-
it here, folks.
I believe it's going to be on the PlayStation stage.
I think so.
Yes, I don't think that it'll be on Microsoft because it might get rid of Killer Instinct.
Now let's hope that they do not use a silly little song to show the fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero like they did that one year. That the song just did not fit the fight scene. It was just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? You should have used the Mortal Kombat song and it would have fit better than whatever you're playing.
The Sony show?
Whatever show it was that they showed it might have been through the Sony show, but they were just like, yo, get to fighting and we're going to be riding. And it's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're taking me out of this fight scene.
It's kind of like the first Assassin's Creed trailer.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Kanye
It was just
West.
like, this song does not fit
No.
at all. So let's hope that doesn't happen. All right, more news. One complaint I've actually heard since I've been on Steam is the lack of accessibility from the mobile app. All you can really do is just maybe like look up your friends. You can look through the store, but if you got like a code, you can't even use it. You got to go to your PC and just, a lot of different things that they could do to integrate more into it. Well, they made an announcement this week that I guess they're going to rectify some of these issues. I won't say all of them. With 2 new free apps, one called Steam Link and one called Steam Video. Steam Link will launch on May 21st and will allow gamers to play their library of games from their Android and iOS device.
Damn.
Now, you're going to have to be connected to a host system, which will be connected to Ethernet. So I'm guessing it's going to be kind of a streaming to your phone kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I think they even said that Android's going to kind of be in a beta when they launch it, but iOS should be ready to go. I guess the big question is there going to be lag, a lot of latency? How's it going to work? How's the controller thing going to work? Because this would be a lot similar to what Sony did with the Vita in a way, but working it through your phone, is it even going to be strong enough to do that? Will it have the capability for it, I guess?
Well, with the PlayStation, they made a thing that hooks into the controller and it holds your cell phone, and you can play. But that was only on like I think the Sony phone. I don't think you. Could do it.
They did limit a lot of that to their own phone.
I felt like that was kind of not smart.
No,
Not smart
because
at all.
at that point you're alienating so many other people. Especially, I mean, when you hear the top 2 names of phones on the market, it's Samsung and Apple.
Right.
Not Sony.
No.
So you've already cornered your market to this small little consensus over here.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one, and I did not realize they had anything like this, so maybe this is a brand new feature they're just getting ready to start. Stream Video will launch later this summer and will offer access to thousands of movies and TV shows and will offer the ability to enjoy this content offline or in a streaming mode. I didn't know they offered movies or TV shows.
Well, it sounds like they just started.
So maybe they are. If you know anything, let us know, because that was news to me.
Sounds like they just started and everybody's trying to get on that wagon.
Yeah.
I guess it's the how can we stream media?
Well, I'd love to see where it kind of narrows down to some of the other companies trying to pull it off right now. Because DC, I don't know if you saw that, they announced one, and they're going to have a slew of new shows that are comic book based, obviously, that are going to be on that streaming service. We know Disney's going to try it, and I think they'll actually pull it off. Because
Disney, look what they got.
Exactly. I mean, they've got so many libraries to pull from, because I don't think a lot of people are thinking about it. If you're talking about just Disney as a whole, as a company, saying we are going to take everything we own and put it into a streaming service, you're not just talking the Disney family movies and the animated movies, because that's where everybody's mind goes originally. But you've got the Marvel library, you've got the Star Wars library, plus you've got all these other movies that you don't even realize they own under Touchstone and Miramax and Dimension. All these other companies that they own quietly under these other subsidiaries. So they've got a library. Right. So I'd love to see what they pull off with that.
They're the one. I think they're the ones that can do it.
But the moment they say we're going to edit our content, they're done. I guarantee you that. Because I know there was a lot of talk of that. Are they going to do that?
Like edit it how?
Like if it's an R-rated film, they're not going to have it on there.
Well, don't have it on there, but don't change. Don't put it on there and change it.
Yeah. Something like that. I still feel like it would alienate people, especially if there's a slew of films that they own and they just said, "Nah, we're not going to put that on there because it's R-rated." Look at Netflix. You've got your kids section.
Right.
Put all your family friendly stuff in one section. Put all your adult stuff in one section.
Yeah, and have it locked behind a password.
Exactly. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Don't alienate people. You've got a great library.
Right.
Bring people to it. Next story I've got is one of the co-directors for Red Dead Redemption 2 spoke about some of the game's new mechanics, such as the much more realistic approach to gunplay. In trying to balance realism and fun, you will feel a difference between each weapon, which might lead you to have a preferred weapon in the game.
Nice.
Which I thought, it did sound pretty cool. He also mentioned that the interactions of the open world, explaining consequences of your actions. He used an example of leaving a dead body in the middle of a town versus leaving a dead body out in the middle of nowhere. If you kill somebody and leave the body in town, people are going to, be afraid of you. They're not going to want to approach you, and could be worse things. They didn't specify what, but I'm going to assume maybe like bounties.
Right.
You're going to become a criminal. But they said if you're out in the wild and you toss a body out there, you're going to attract predators like coyotes and vultures and things like that. So
it just better not be immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see it happen like, I
threw a dead body. Damn, a coyote.
Oh,
and not just unless, like there's one, I already seen him and
exactly.
I throw it out.
So just little mechanics like that, little touches. I'd love to see how that works out. But yeah, not immediately, because if you got a swarm of vultures the moment you drop a body, that's a glitch and a half if I ever saw one.
Yeah. Well, that's like the donkey head lady.
Yeah.
The one thing with the realism on the gunplay, I hope, I don't know, do you think the most realistic gun feel that I've ever played was The Last of Us? I felt that sway as soon as I pulled up. Like, it was so hard to just get your target right away. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you play Call of Duty, you're stuck to your target when you come up immediately, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I keep thinking about when Joel was hung upside down. Mm-hmm. That felt so realistic. Trying to aim upside down and panicking. Yeah,
because it was. I mean, you're in a situation you can't really deal with.
Yeah.
Properly, and you're just kind of disoriented. And then, of course, the gun's not working for you.
So I hope they capture that. And if you're riding a horse,
I think they did mention something about that too. Definitely when you're on a horse or when you're in slow motion mode, stuff like that, there's a lot of elements that are going to kind of come into play with that realistic.
What's the slow motion called? Dead Eye?
Something like that, yeah. Which I actually forgot about until they mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, they did.
I loved it
though.
That. When your thing was charged up enough for you to get about 5 or 6 people, it really saved your ass sometimes.
Oh yeah. All right, you ready for some rumors?
I love rumors.
Okay,
Let's
this
talk
is
gossip.
Yay or nay, whatever you want to say.
Okay.
A Quantum Break sequel is in the works.
All right, like I've heard that they're calling it P7, right? Have you read about it?
I guess so. I don't know.
That's what Remedy is. They're saying Remedy is working on a project, and they're calling it P7, right? Or maybe Project 7, something like that, I think.
Okay.
So they're assuming that it's Quantum Break. Now, they could be working on Quantum Break, but the game P7 is supposed to be on all platforms.
Okay.
I think somebody's just guessing. So I'm going to say
no.
10% they're probably working on it. 90% they're not. So
Okay.
I'm leaning more towards nah. They're thinking about this new game.
Okay. Next one. Game Freak may destroy an iconic Pokemon city in the next Pokemon game.
Can I have a I don't care?
No, you have to say yay or nay.
Who was it?
Game Freak. They're the ones that develop Pokemon.
Right.
They're going to destroy one of the most iconic Pokemon cities in the next game. Yay or nay?
They're going to destroy. I say, yeah, they're going to.
Okay.
I say that's time to do something like that.
All right. A new Battletoads game is in the works.
I hope to God not.
No?
No, because Rare's they're going to mess that
Yeah,
up.
they did own that. I thought it was kind of like a mixture of Rare and
Rare.
Trade West. I
Rare,
know they
well,
had
it was
a
on, it was
stake
on
in
the
it.
Rare
Yeah,
disc for
that's true.
things, so I'm thinking they own it.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure they will. A Spider-Man themed PS4 Pro is coming.
Yes, true.
Okay. Did you see that?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Okay.
I've heard rumors about it.
It looks sweet. Or at least the mock-up of it.
Yeah.
So I would get it maybe.
I thought the Kratos one looked awesome.
Oh yeah. Gran Turismo 7 has been confirmed.
Now I read something about this, like GameStop accidentally did this, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
And didn't they come out? I can't remember. No, I'm thinking of another company that. What was that?
Might have been Walmart because they did something stupid too.
No, I think this one was GameStop. I think
Okay.
GameStop accident or Best Buy.
Could have been any of them.
One of those two. I'm for sure it's one of those two. I'm 50-50 on both of them.
Okay, so do you think yay or
Yeah.
nay?
Well. I could see it.
Okay.
I could see it taking everything that Gran Turismo was it Sport? Ain't that what it's called now?
Something like that. I don't know.
Being like the
care.
holdover until Gran Turismo 7. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, this is the one that Walmart did. Borderlands 3 is coming this year.
Good.
Okay.
We're going to find out at E3, though.
Speaking of E3, an open world Superman game produced by Rocksteady will be seen before E3. Yay or nay?
Do we need a Superman game?
If done correctly,
But
yes.
how do you do him correctly?
They need to utilize the idea of kryptonite, okay? Give me an open world Superman game where I start off feeling invincible.
All right.
That I can fly anywhere, I can do anything, that I can stop every crime in the city. And then at some point I'm going to feel powerless because everybody has a kryptonite weapon and can take me down. Flip the script. Make people feel invincible for once, Let them feel like Superman. Let them get that sensation of being Superman and then take it away from them. Because
that's God of War 2.
There you go. How hard is that to do? Because everybody wants to have that feeling, and that's what makes people angry is when they get into these Superman games and you're not Superman.
Right.
So find a way to give the players what they want, but find a way to take it away from them too. Because granted, you don't want them to just be able to do whatever, and there's no challenge in the game. There are kryptonite weapons. Make Metallo one of your first enemies that you fight because he is nothing but kryptonite-based, weaponry. Then have Lex. He's selling kryptonite weapons to whomever. Or maybe there's another cat in town and he's doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. So all the criminals are getting kryptonite weapons. So now you got to deal with that because now they're being able to take you down.
They stole it from Batman.
You can even twist in Intergang. They're like the criminal mafia of Metropolis. They're getting their hands on this weapon. Now, when you're going after criminals, you have to start worrying, am I going to get hit with kryptonite? Maybe you can find ways to avoid it. Maybe you have to get a suit, but maybe it doesn't last forever. Maybe it gets damaged. There are so many different ways you can do it that can work. The ideas are here. They're just not using them. They're not implementing them properly.
Okay, like what if when you get hit with kryptonite weapons, you only do like 10% damage?
Yeah.
And you're kind of slow.
Or maybe even what they're using can affect you differently. Say if someone's got like a kryptonite-based gun. Maybe it's not shooting kryptonite bullets, but maybe like a kryptonite ray. So maybe if it's like one blast, it's going to hurt you, take down a little bit of your health bar if you've got one or whatnot. So you're getting damaged. Maybe even not have a health bar. Maybe you just get weaker and weaker and whatnot. Kind of what you see in other games now where it's the screen goes red.
Right.
Maybe the screen goes green. How about that? I just came up with something new.
I don't like that.
Anyway.
Goes black. Let's let go black.
Okay. Well, anyway, he's getting weak, so you have to fight your way through whatever. But if it's something like a kryptonite clamp or maybe an actual kryptonite bullet and it's lodged in you, yeah, you get weakened. Maybe you're not as strong as you were. I don't know. Like I said, there's so many different ways to look at it. There's 80 years of the damn character.
But how's the bullet come out?
He's going to have to get someone to pull it out because it's lodged into his arm. But I mean, maybe that's pushing it a little bit too far.
Yeah.
But I just mean that there's a way to get injured in more ways than maybe you're thinking. Maybe a kryptonite bomb will blow you straight to hell, and then that's it. So you've got to watch out for bombs. There are so many ways they can do this, and I understand that people are like, well, everything's going to be kryptonite, so I can't fight anybody. So okay, throw in Doomsday. Why not? Throw in Brainiac. He can whoop Superman pretty hard. Both of them can. He's got a plethora of villains. Darkseid will stomp Superman. He has to overcome that.
Okay, so they'll do it right if they're doing it.
I would hope so. It's not that if you look at what your material is, it's not that hard to do.
Yeah, and it's just like you just said, take what they did with Batman. You felt like Batman.
Yes, make you feel like Superman.
Yeah,
because again, if your opening game is you being Superman in just the grandest way possible, you're going to hook so many people. Because at that point, you're going to be like, I am Superman. So when he gets taken down a peg, you're going to feel it.
Right.
You're like, man, I'm not what I was. So when he's going through that, I can't go out there and fight. Everybody's got kryptonite weapons. You're going to feel that. You can be like, yeah, I know. I don't want to go out there either. I don't know. I feel like it can be done and no one's looking at it the proper way. All right, off of the rant. Next to last rumor, a Resident Evil 2 remake is coming April of 2019.
God, why so long?
I don't know.
I just want to play this game. That was my favorite Resident Evil besides Part 4.
I'll even throw in a bonus rumor.
Go ahead.
It's going to be like Resident Evil 4.
What, huh?
It's going to be like Resident Evil 4. Like they've remade it to be like that game.
Well, it was already kind of like that game.
No, it was more like the original.
No, I never felt... I mean, the controls, yeah, but I always felt more like... That's why my favorite two are that one and 4. They feel the same. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But yeah, you think it's going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Last rumor, and this is a big one. You ready for this?
I don't know. I'm scared.
Final Fantasy VII is not dropping until 2023. Silence.
I don't even know why they even announced this game.
Yeah. Well, it lends a lot of credibility to a lot of that stuff we were talking about, where they were having difficulties. Mm-hmm. But it's a rumor. I didn't say it was true.
This is true.
I'm
acting like it is.
So
2023.
2023. Now how old?
I don't see that. I don't see that at all.
No.
Well, is it disc-based or digital?
It could be both.
Yeah, but
now what if someone mistook, because they said they were going to do it in episodes.
Right.
So maybe someone mistook that they were going to be releasing by the third one. Could be 2023. You never know.
It could be that. The third one, yeah.
So we'll see. I'm still curious how they're going to break it up. Are they going to break it up like in the sense that each chapter they give you is a disc, like they did the old game?
I don't know.
I think it could be done that way. I don't know. I'm not making the game. All right. There was really not a lot. Well, there really was no weird news this week.
Well, there was no news, period.
But I did kind of throw in, I guess, something that can be considered weird news. So we've got something. Why is Thanos in Fortnite?
It's a mode, really?
But why?
Well, Thanos really isn't like the Gauntlet is. The gauntlet falls out
But
of the sky.
you get it and you become Thanos.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Why?
just an event for right now.
It doesn't fit.
Well, they said like you can kill him.
Yeah, and apparently people have been bitch slapping him. So what good's the
Well,
gauntlet doing him?
They say he's awesome to play with, though. He can do everything.
I would hope so.
Yeah, so.
All right.
I don't
Well,
know. I thought it was kind of cool. I haven't played it.
I haven't either. It's just I don't want to play Fortnite. The internet ruins it for me because it's just Fortnite this and Fortnite that and I hate Fortnite. Oh, fine. It's just it's oversaturation
Yeah.
for a game that I've never played, and I just don't want to play it because
Now
of
you'll
it.
probably like to go play Call of Duty. Because ain't nobody talking about that anymore.
Well, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh, I want to play Call
See,
of Duty.
and this is why John should be here. This was his game. Remember, he was championing this game before when PUBG was top dog. He was like, no, this is the game.
Yeah,
He
I know.
was on top of it.
And John's not here.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, John, I seen his face on a milk carton.
Did you?
Yeah, he's just missing.
Well, it's a shame.
How sad. But I still ate them damn chocolate
I bet
covered
you did.
frosted flakes. They were so good. Have you had those?
I have not.
They're delicious.
All right. It's time for our favorite new segment.
I'd buy that for $1.
Are you a Borderlands fan?
No.
Okay, well, do you like Claptrap? The little
Yeah,
robot?
I got the bottle opener there. Okay, I say I'm not a fan. I like the second one. I didn't like the first one. But I did not think
you're not
Game
all
of the Year.
in.
I did not think Game of the Year.
Okay. You're not all in for the series. You're
No,
just
not
like,
all
it's,
in.
It's fun,
I love
but,
Claptrap though. Claptrap is cool.
Okay. Would you want a Claptrap that will hand you... Wait a minute. Let me try that again.
They would hand you. He's probably like he's stuck to the wall. Shit, I'm sorry.
No. Would you want Claptrap to hand... Or maybe I just wrote this wrong. Let me read this. I did. I know what I did. I wrote the wrong letter down. Okay, let me try it again. Would you want... See, this is typos, man. It didn't even catch it. Would you want Claptrap to hang out with you in your vehicle, charging your phone, and maybe even talking to you?
Yeah, I'd buy that.
Okay, well, if you do, which you seem like you want to, then ThinkGeek presents to you an exclusive Borderlands Claptrap talking car charger. He's a 7-inch tall figurine that fits in a standard cup holder and plugs into your vehicle's 12-volt port.
Right.
When plugged in, Claptrap's eye will light up blue, letting you know he's ready to charge any device that you want via USB cable. He will even say things to you like, "Ha-ha, I'm alive, let's get moving, old noble henchman. Ooh, I finally got an excuse to turn this on." And, "How you feeling, minion? You feeling good? I'm feeling good." And if that gets old pretty quick, you can mute it. But maybe you don't want him for your vehicle. Maybe you'd prefer to have him hanging around your desk at home.
Yeah.
In that case, you'll need Borderlands Claptrap Talking USB Hub, which is essentially the same thing, except he's 2 inches smaller, but he can transfer data for you, has a few extra USB ports, and he will say 5 different things to you as well.
5?
Yes,
Shit.
and these are different. Now he'll say, "Looking good, minion. Whenever you're ready, buddy. This feels good. Feels right. I'm mildly uncomfortable with how good that made me feel. Mildly. All right, that one hurt a little. All right, you're not a Hyperion robot. I forget that sometimes. That's how you do it. Haha, I knew you'd get it eventually. And, yeah, well done, buddy." He also has a mute button.
Good.
Whichever one floats your boat, you still pay the same low price of $39.99.
No, I would not buy that for $1.
Okay.
You lost me at the price.
All right, well.
I mean, you hit me at $19.99 for that shit. I'm buying it.
Okay. So not a $40
$40.
car charger.
No,
Too
I would
much.
not buy that for $1. I mean, for $1, yeah.
For $1 you would.
Not in
That's-
this
that's
segment.
not
In this
the-
segment, I would not buy that for $1.
All right. Well, there you have it. If somebody else out there wants to buy it, they're more than welcome to, but it's not passing here.
Like, you can have it. You can get it for my birthday. Get it for my birthday.
There you go. See,
I'll-
somebody
I'll
can
use
get
it.
it for you
That
for your
sounds
birthday
awesome.
present. But I don't know if I'd want to buy it either.
I don't want to buy that.
All right, release dates. I actually did a little bit more digging on release dates because I felt like that there was I was getting like a handful, like, well, these are the more important ones. And boy, when I started digging, I got way more than I expected.
Well, you're in between God of War and course, what's that? Detroit Become Human. Getting ready to come out.
But I did find quite a bit, and I feel like that these are those that don't get mentioned. So when I looked at them, I was like, you know what? I'm going to mention them because these games need love too. They're the little indie titles that get overlooked because they're not the big games. So
There's too many of them. They need to
and
trim
there
the
are
fat.
because I've got more than I've had in a while. So on May 15th, we have Shin Megami Tensei, whatever.
Tensei.
Strange
Tensei.
Journey Redo for the 3DS. Horizon Chase Turbo for PS4 and PC. Little Witch Academia Chamber of Time for PS4 and PC. A City Skylines DLC called Natural Disasters for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I think I missed a few here. Dragon's Crown Pro for PS4. I'm going to hope there's nothing else there. Omen Sight for PS4 and PC, which I think we saw that at PAX.
I feel like I remember.
I know it was in their booth. I didn't play it, though. Looked interesting. Hitman Definitive Edition for PS4 and Xbox One. Forgotten Anne for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Goner for PS4. Wizard of Legend for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The Council Episode 2 Hide and Seek for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Descenders for Xbox One. Battle Chasers Night War for Nintendo Switch. And The Adventures of Elena Temple for the Nintendo Switch. Then on May 16th, we have Stay for PC and Xbox One. Lily's Epic Quest for Xbox One. Fox and Forests for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. See, we've got a lot. May 17th, we have the Framed Collection for Nintendo Switch and PC. Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles for Nintendo Switch.
It's a dumb name.
This is even dumber. Invisiballs for Nintendo Switch. And Ice Cream Surfer for the Nintendo Switch.
They get a lot of games coming, but we've seen that coming down the pipeline from PAX because everybody was going to Switch.
Now on May 18th, they have Hyrule Warriors or the Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch. Little Nightmares Complete Edition for the Nintendo Switch. Monster Slayers for Xbox One. And Henry the Hamster Handler for Nintendo Switch.
Did you ever play Little Nightmares?
I didn't. I want to. That's one of those on my list.
Though, right?
Don't think I have yet.
Go
I know I
buy it.
missed one of the last sales they had.
I say if you get it for $20, you're still winning.
Okay.
The game's awesome.
I do want to play it. All right. Ready for a retro review?
Sure.
I had to whip something together, and I felt like I got something good this time. You know, it was sitting in my library of games to choose from, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this one.
But it's no Nintendo.
Yes. Because when I'm stuck in a corner and I need something, those are easy to go to. You know, they're games I know and I can talk about.
Right.
So I'll try to change it up. I know I will next week. Okay. We all have a game that stuck with us through our childhood.
Uh-huh.
Some games that we played more than others for one reason or another. Did you have a game like that?
Zelda.
Zelda? Just anytime you could pick it up and go?
Yeah, anytime I pick it up and go. And that and the pro wrestling game.
Pro wrestling.
Yeah.
It was always a game that we appreciated for assortment of reasons, and maybe you didn't realize how important it was to you then, but maybe you look back on it and you can see how crucial it really was. One such game for me was the original Ninja Gaiden for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Me too. I love that game too, man.
The game was released in March of 1989, developed and published by Tecmo, which I think they are Tecmo. I don't know. I can't speak their language. But they. Ooh, he's yawning.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the damn review.
I almost like had the whole microphone in my mouth. Yeah. I think they're still Tecmo, right?
I think they've got an added name now, like Square Enix does,
Yeah, I don't know.
where they used to be two separate. But I can't. It's like KOIEEI.
Tecmo Koei?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. KEO. You said KEOI, right?
Something of that nature.
Yeah, I bet that's it.
A lot of vowels.
A lot of them.
Now the story, if you're unfamiliar with the original story,
We're doing the original, right?
we're doing the original. Story centers around a man by the name of Ryu Hayabusa, however you want to say it. Ryu, I think
it's
is the
Ryu.
proper term. Who is on a quest to avenge his murdered father. Along the way, he discovers a deeper, more sinister plot behind his father's death. Now, most games of this era were not really known for their narratives. In fact, you were actually lucky if you had a game that had one at all beyond anything you saw in the manual.
Yeah.
In fact, that's where a lot of the narratives
I know,
were
dude.
made.
I used to read the Double Dragon Handbook every night. That's one of my favorite games.
Now, the fact that this game had such a rich story for its time and presented it in such a cinematic form is what drew me to the game and connected with me in a way I never really realized. The game was comprised of 6 acts with 4 areas, give or take, in each, act, in which you had to fight through. Each act was bookended and with a few thrown in here and there with a cutscene that pushed the narrative along. Now, this may actually be common practice today, but this was something wholly unique at the time. The cutscenes themselves are more like motion comic panels, and that's obviously a limitation of the hardware.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was a very effective practice that drew me in. In fact, this was, I believe, one of the first times I actually took notice of a game publisher. I thought if Tecmo made this kind of cinematic game, well, every game they make would be this awesome. It'd be great. They weren't all winners, but I do remember loving the hell out of Bad News Baseball. Do you ever remember playing that?
I remember Bad News Baseball, but I don't. I always played like Tecmo Baseball.
Yeah, but I love Bad News Baseball. I don't know why. It had that cinematic thing, like when you slide in to safe out, whatever.
Oh, you sound just like oh.
'Cause that's how they used to talk back in the 80s. Now, as for the story itself, I feel like it'd easily be retooled for a film. However, maybe 3 decades too late, since ninjas were like a huge fad in the 80s. And plus, this plot has a very 80s feel to it.
Yeah, but like I think that's one of the ninja stories they could take and go tell everybody like, hell yeah, do it right, that's good.
It involves Ryu searching for his father's killer, like I said before. He receives a letter to visit an old friend of his father's, only to encounter the CIA, who want to recruit him to recover an item that was in possession of his father's, or was in the possession of his father's friend. The item was known as the Shadow Statue, which is a typical 80s MacGuffin, which was actually one of 2 that have joined together during a lunar eclipse, would unleash a terrible evil onto the world. I'm sure you can guess how this is going to go, but let's look at it anyway.
Do it.
With a story this rich, you have to have some intriguing supporting characters to back it up. The main supporting character of the game is Irene Liu, who shoots you with a tranquilizer upon your first encounter. Then she locks you up, but then she hands you the shadow statue, then tells you to leave. It's kind of an odd way to go about it.
Then he hit it. You didn't see that part though.
Yeah,
he got it, and she just gave it to him.
Yeah, she's like, "Here, take this and go."
It was good. Goodbye.
Ryu's father's acquaintance, Walter Smith, is one of the game's main exposition characters, explaining various details about the shadow and light statues, even being the keeper of the light statue, unbeknownst to Ryu, until it gets him murdered and is stolen from him.
Yeah. Sad scene.
Yes, it is. That was actually one of the odder things about it, is it had some emotional depth to it. And in fact, I think it was one of the few times you actually saw blood in the game, because if you looked at his shirt, it looked like he was stabbed. And there was it was pink, but it was the shadows. It was dark.
Well, he got strangled and he was drinking charcoal.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And spilt on him.
You were then introduced to a CIA agent only known as Foster for more exposition, who gives you more depth into information you already know. Then he introduces you to the game's main villain, Gordia Demieux, or also known as Jacquio, or Jacquio. Jacquio. Sounds French.
Yeah.
Which, I'll be honest, I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right. It's Jacquio, Jaqio. Jacquio. This villain's design, I don't know if you remember it at all. It's insane. I don't even know what the hell he was supposed to be. I actually looked up some drawings to ensure that I knew what he looked like.
Right.
And I guess he's more like a warlock wearing a cloak that looks like insect husk. And he even has like a satanic star in the middle of his chest, which I can't imagine got past Nintendo censors in the 80s. So maybe it was tweaked for the US release.
Or they just didn't have it.
Yeah, but it was very anime-esque if you saw like an actual drawing of it. In fact, most of the game designs in this are. I would even say that the cutscenes kind of have this anime style. But I will say this, and I don't know if you remember this or not, they changed the style in 2 and 3. I did not like the style in 2 and 3. I hated the way Ryu looked in 2 and 3. He looked like a pansy. I guess would be the best way.
To me, none of them were as good as the first one.
No. Anyway, Foster tasked you, meaning that he gives you no choice, to go after the light statue, or go after Jakuyo. All the while, and this never made sense to me, all the while, Ryu had the shadow statue on him. Why not leave it with the CIA? Why did he take it to the guy? You knew this was going to happen. You knew that this was one of those things that was just like you're bringing it to him, you know. Don't do that. Go get the statue, leave that one behind, and go back and get it.
Maybe he was thinking, well, if I give them the statue, then I don't have it anymore.
Perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, it winds up in the hands of Jakuyo because he puts him into a hard decision to either hand the statue over or he's going to kill the CIA agent who shot him earlier in the game. Don't really know if that's a thought or a choice that I would really have to make at that time. It would be more like, okay, have at it. She shot me earlier. Eventually, Ryu faces off against his father's killer once you escape the hands of the Jakuyo's traps, who looks nothing like the ninja from the beginning of the game, mind you. And he's now this big man named Balth.
Well, how long ago was it?
I don't know. It can't be that long because no one knew like even his father didn't realize he was dead. So it's had to be like months because he was after his, I don't know. Anyway, he looks nothing like him. He's now Malth. He informs you that your father still lives after you beat his ass. What a twist. It's an 80s twist if you didn't know.
Yeah.
In fact, he has been turned into a weapon by the Jakuyo called the Masked Devil. And after a bitch of a fight with the Masked Devil, you break the father's curse, I guess it was, or controlling, and then he is fatally injured immediately after by the Jakuyo, who is trying to attack Ryu, and he jumps in the way. So his father sacrifices himself after becoming free. Why did we even go through that?
First off, I would be like, Dad, your ass got what you deserved.
Yeah.
After ninja fighting and then got killed in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. So
now we're here.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were dead. You're alive. Now you're dead again.
Yeah, and you got what you deserved.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. Peace.
Now, after he gets hit, this fuels Ryu's rage and he kicks Jackie's ass. But before Ryu and Irene can escape, the lunar eclipse happens, obviously, and it unleashes the evil demon. It actually looks like a Contra reject if you look at it. And then Ryu's got to defeat it. Once Ryu defeats this giant demon creature thing, which they tell the whole story in the game, it's a lot better than I'm making it sound. Ryu says goodbye to his father, who was technically not dead, just hanging on to those last little breaths so they could have his goodbye. Yeah. His father tells him, "You're a man now," which, wow. I thought I was a man before, but no, now you're a man.
Yeah, it's deep.
He says goodbye to his father, then escapes the temple, which falls apart like most final boss areas in these games do at that time. Foster then calls Irene to tell her that she must kill Ryu and take the statues. The statues that I would have assumed would have been left behind in the buried ruins of this castle, but no, they took them. Anyway, Ryu tells Foster, quite frankly, to kiss his ass. Then he tells Irene, whose name he did not know until now, mind you. He found this out at the end of the game. That he's getting 2 types of payment for this job. One is taking down Foster, and the other is her. Not sure when this happened throughout the course of the game, since, she shot him. But apparently he's in love with her now. And he's her second, or she is his second payment for the job. How about that? That's sweet, right?
Second payment.
Yeah. Because he said, I'm getting paid for this job. You're payment number 1, and you're payment number 2, baby. That's a smooth line. I want to tell a woman, hey, I got paid today, and that payment is you. That's going to go over pretty well. Try it with your wife sometime. See if that works.
I want to know, I'm confused. Like, is he? Why does he? What's Foster got? How's he a payment?
Because he's going to get him back. I'm going to pay you back. I don't know. This is how the dialogue went. Maybe they misinterpreted it. I don't know. I'm just telling you what the dialogue said.
But to me, it's like I'm going to kill both y'all.
Yeah. But no,
He's in love with you.
he's in love.
I'm in love.
I'm in love with
Now
you.
I'm really just gonna have one kill. I'm just gonna kill one person.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you, but I'm gonna take her as payment
Yeah.
for killing you. Don't ask me. That's just how the dialogue went. Outside of the story, the game itself has actually grown very synonymous with brutal difficulty. The game is very unrelenting, throwing everything at you and the kitchen sink. Now, the game doesn't actually start off brutally difficult, just kind of eases you into it as each level progresses.
And then bam.
Then, considering this is a very hack and slash platformer, the difficulty mostly came from the positioning of enemies and their ability to respawn, which got so frustrating. One level in particular, don't know if this would be the one you would point out, would anger me to no end, and there seemed to be very little to quell that rage because I know I'd always get stuck on this and then it would be game over and I'd have to start over again, and I was just like, you know what, screw this game. It was level 6-2, had two distinct parts that I considered insanely difficult. One part had these guys with jetpacks flying over above, throwing ninja stars as you're trying to get over a gap.
Right.
So if you got hit, you get thrown into the hole,
And you're
or
dead.
something, or you can't jump at all, or you die trying to get over there, and it's just frustrating. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I've seen it happen on. I just didn't figure it out as a kid.
Right.
It was frustrating. The second was a wide gap that not only had a bat flying toward you as you're trying to jump, but there's an eagle down below that as soon as you get closer will fly up and knock you over too. What makes this worse is this game had that very frustrating game mechanic that would knock you back as you got hit.
Yeah.
So no matter what you did, you would fly backwards at least a good 2 or 3 feet, and if you're given very narrow platforms, so you're going to die. They hit you, you're flying off, and then game over.
Is that the one where you had to get hit by the bat?
You actually had to hit the bird. You had to drop down into the hole. He would bounce you off and over to the platform. It looks very like this is not going to work, but that's what you have to do.
Right.
You have to avoid the bat, hit the bird, get over.
Is there one where you have to hit a bat for it to knock you back, or
No,
okay? So
That's
what I'm thinking
probably the
about.
one you're thinking
That's-
about,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm thinking about.
but it was always one of those. Ugh.
Yeah, you just because
Mind
your whole
numbing.
goal always is to never get hit.
And the worst part about it is that I found out in other portions of this game, if you died, you would always restart in the level you were in.
Right.
Right? There was a glitch in this game for this level that would always kick you back to the beginning. They left that in on purpose. The assholes. That's why none of us could get through it.
I know it. I never got past that part.
Yeah. That was always one of those.
Because am I right? Like it looks like you're in like a log cabin type area. There's like log bridges.
No, this one's like you start off right after you fight Moth, and it's like the yellow castle area, and you run to the left through an area, then you walk into another area, and it's like a blue fortress looking area.
I remember blue. I know I made it to the same part because I never got past it either.
Now, it's obviously possible to overcome these problems with the right skill set and whatnot, but sometimes you need the right tools. This game is littered with secondary weapons to accompany your dragon sword, which I didn't mention until now.
Yeah.
But you have a dragon sword. How about that? You also have throwing stars, which were windmill throwing stars, which were like boomerangs. That was an awesome item because if you could throw that just the right time and let it circle you,
Yeah. Yep.
oh man, you could wipe out so many.
And they were always huge.
Yeah.
I'm like, where do you carry those?
Exactly. Just right in the back pocket, and you just have to. Excuse me, guys. Hang on.
It's like the size of a frisbee. Go all around you.
You have a jump and slash move, which could essentially allow you to cut through enemies as you jumped.
Is it like the buzzsaw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could come in handy in areas like we were just talking about, maybe. And there was also the Art of the Fire Wheel, which I actually forgot the name of it until I was looking this
That was
up.
one with the
It was like a little blast of fire. It would kind of
but
shoot up
ring,
diagonally.
Like a ring, right?
Yeah. And it could take out many enemies. It would kind of come in pretty handy. It was a good item to have. Of course, these used or required spiritual strength, which was like a gauge that you had. So you could only use them a limited amount of time
Pick
unless
up
you
the
got
little
that.
vials, you know.
Yeah, get that filled back up. This game was also the first that I could remember to feature wall jumps.
Yeah,
Did you
me
recall
too. I don't remember
before that?
anything else.
So any method that you had where you go back and forth, this is where you actually got it from. I know that it always kind of stuck with me, the approach to it.
That was one thing I think that kind of drew me in for the game. Also, was the wall thing.
Yeah, it was a unique element to the game at the time. Another memorable takeaway from this game is its soundtrack. 8-bit soundtracks were either memorable or forgettable, and I think this one definitely falls into the former category. Every level had a memorable tune that you associated with the location, and the enemies and the boss fight had their own tune that they got.
You playing it right now?
Maybe not the boss fight theme. But anyway, you knew what was about to go down when you heard that
Right.
boss fight theme. It's hard to say which tune actually takes the top spot. That you could say that's the one I can associate with it, because they all are very memorable.
I don't remember any of them.
But I would say, and this one will probably be playing right now, is the one from 4-2. Actually got replayed twice in the game. Once in that level, and then right at the end of the game. During
So
the
it's
credits.
the best.
So I would assume it's the best. It's very catchy.
Yeah.
Very upbeat. And
I want to
just
hear it sometime.
playing right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
here.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. I knew you would. Despite my frustrations with the difficulty, I would press on and keep playing this game. At least one time. I know I beat this game at least once. And from that point on, I probably never did it again. I know I've seen it done once, or I've done it once. But those anger moments aren't what stuck with me. It was really the narrative. The Tecmo Theater, as it were, rewarding me for a job well done from, scene to scene, level to level. The game came along, or was, along with many others, helped form what I would call the world inside my head. At 10 years of age, about the time this game came out, I created something I called Steven's Wacky Maze, which Todd
Say
is
it.
so excited
Say it.
about. I knew he was going to say
Say it.
this. I knew he was going to be like, say it that way.
Do
No, I'm not
your
going to do that.
Do what your
Let
mom
me
did.
tell my story. I'll do it for you afterwards.
On camera.
I
mean,
created
on,
something called Steven's Wacky Maze, which was essentially a video game on paper. As I made more of these, they become increasingly more and more cinematic until it was more of a comic book than a game. This game was a huge influence on that idea. In fact, I would have no doubt that it encouraged other developers to build more onto their games and make them more cinematic. Numerous ports of this game have made it across several platforms, along with its 2 sequels, none of which I think really hold up as much as that
Oh,
one.
Lord, no.
Even though I will say that the boss in the second one was pretty badass.
Yeah.
I think his name was Ashtar. His name wasn't really all that deceiving, but he had a good look to him. He kind of looked like a cross between the Shredder and, well, the Shredder. Just without all the blades and everything.
Right.
He had a big sword and whatnot.
Shredder and Super Shredder.
There you go. The series was even remade with an entirely new narrative, as we all know, like on the Xbox, and was ported to other platforms. But it retained the brutal difficulty, if not more so than its predecessor.
Yeah.
I never understood why they changed the narrative, though.
I don't
That
either.
kind of bugged me a little bit. And that was actually one of the things that pushed me away from playing it.
Yeah. Like I played the first one. I didn't play the second one. I think I played part of it maybe. I didn't like it either. The first one was okay. It was the combat was more difficult. That's where they took the challenge in this one, rather than, to me, the platform. And even though there were some parts,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I didn't really care for it. I think I played one that was on the Vita,
right.
which I don't remember which one that was. It
Sigma,
might have been
maybe?
the first one.
Well,
yeah.
on PlayStation, I think they were called Ninja Gaiden Sigma and
Yeah.
Sigma 2.
So it might have been technically the first one. I played it. I don't know if I beat it. I just know I played it for a while, and I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
So it never captured me like this one did. So I doubt we'll ever see a remake of this particular version, even though I'd prefer it in any way, shape, or form. But who knows? We might get lucky one day.
Maybe we can all make a noise.
That's right.
Stomp your feet. So you want to hear Ninja
We
Gaiden
want it now.
right
we
now,
want it
just
now.
like that, with just a little bit of updated graphics.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever remember the Super Nintendo one where they kind of slightly polished it up, and
No, I don't.
it was like they did all 3 games into one disc or one cartridge, and then it was like slightly updated graphics.
Did
And
it have
then-
him on the front with the dragon behind him? He was going like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what I dislike the most about that game is I don't know how you ruin the music taking it a step up. going from 8-bit music to 16-bit music, they ruined every
It's
track.
that extra 8. It just
It
just
did. It
too
really
good.
did. It just did not make it. It didn't have the same feel to it. Like, it just felt inferior. Despite the graphics looking slightly better, the music made it feel inferior. So I never preferred playing it. So that's just me.
I was,
And even the cutscenes, I think, were just like slightly colored better.
yeah,
That was about it.
yeah. They moved
So-
a little faster.
Yeah. So it wasn't all that great. Well, that's our show.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We survived.
We did.
And is your head okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not sore.
Nope. It's all good.
Let me see it. Take your
You'll
head
see
off.
it after. I
No,
gotta.
I wanna
No, I
make a-
gotta
I
get
wanna
the headphones
comment.
off.
I just want to comment on it. Just like there you go. Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, I think you look kind of like what's the?
I was going for a kingpin look.
That's Kingpin. That's
There you go.
exactly what I was gonna say. Kingpin. I couldn't think of his. The only thing I could think of was this mob boss. I don't know why.
Well, he's a mob boss.
Yeah, I know. That's the only thing I can think of.
See, I'll just-
Kingpin. Yeah.
Kingpin. There you go.
Yeah.
I just gotta work on my voice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take down the devil of Hell's Kitchen.
No,
No. Okay. I'm trying. I was trying.
I understand.
Anyway, thank you to all of our listeners for being here every week. If you are, your love and support is greatly appreciated.
If you are,
If you are. Big thanks to our patrons who make this show and every show we do possible. If you're interested in supporting the show, head over to patreon.com/pencil and paper production. I have recently made changes. I have recently made changes to the rewards tier. So if you've looked before and it never interested you, maybe go look again, see if it's a little bit more enticing. I feel like I've beefed it up a little bit.
nice.
I would hope that we'll get a few more bites. You can follow the show on Twitter, Super Mega Crash. Like and leave reviews on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, YouTube, wherever you listen to the podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
I'm Stephen White.
Todd Stark.
Yes, you are.
I am. Is my hair the same?
It is.
Okay. Yeah. Got the windblown look.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Join us again next time, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then, game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.